Joining us now, Fox News contributor, Scott Martin. Did you buy the dip early this morning?
We did buy a little, but Stuart, great soliloquy, by the way. I mean, that is true market perspective that you gave there, my friend. And here's the thing. We did buy some this morning, but I'm going to give you a little anecdote here. I had some clients, as you know, I manage money for people that were in the markets for the last several months, even the last several years, that really liked the outlook for the markets, say, last week, okay? They called me over the weekend, and some called me this morning, and they got out. I tried to talk them out of it. They didn't stay in. And so it's kind of interesting. It's exactly what you said, where the psychology of this push and pull is alive and well right now, and that's why you're seeing all the market volatility so far today.
Let's talk about big tech for a minute. Apple stock up this morning. I believe it's now at about 163 on Apple. It was in correction territory, but not anymore. It's bounced back today. As I recall, Scott, Apple is your least favorite of all the big tech. So how do you explain a $3 bounce?
Oh, gosh, maybe somewhat of the dead cat-ish bounce. But I'll tell you what's interesting. You're right. It is my least favorite. And that's so far been a pretty good call because the Facebooks and the Amazons have outpaced it, the Netflix and so forth. But the reality is with Apple is vis-a-vis those other tech stocks, Stuart, Apple's probably one of the more attractive valued stocks out there in that environment. So if you're looking at picking up something that has been taken out with the trash, Apple could be it. Although looking at their earnings report last week, I'd still wait a little bit longer to maybe take a bite into this one.
All right. Amazon. Now, it broke below $1,400 a share earlier this morning. Now it's bounced all the way back up again to $1,453. I ask you this almost every time, but I have to ask you again. Would you buy Amazon? Would you put your clients' money into Amazon, fresh money into Amazon right now at $1,450?
Yes, and we did today, my friend, and we would continue to do so. You know, we've owned Amazon on this great ride, and I continue to think that Amazon continues to dominate, obviously, the retail space. But Amazon's also a tech company now with all the cloud participation they have with AWS, Amazon Web Services, if you're playing at home. So Amazon, to me, is a dominator. And I know Charles talked about, one of the obstacles that may be in front of Amazon here going forward with respect to government intervention. I still believe that's years off in the distance. Depending on how dominant, I guess, they get in the meantime, I still like Amazon just to continue to grow here.
By the way, it is a yo-yo market, down 350, then up 4, then down 17, and now we're down 60 and going down again. So we're up and down all over the place today. But, Scott, I do want to talk to you about Bitcoin. Believe it or not, that coin is now valued at less than $8,000, $7,390 to be precise. Does it keep on going down?
I believe it does, Stuart. It needs to correct. It turned into quite a, I guess a biddy situation, if you will. And here's the thing, it's not so much that the Bitcoin story is dead or that the blockchain technology is not going to work or be part of our future, but just like the markets probably in some of these stocks that we saw over the last, say, several weeks and months, things probably got a little overheated. You made a point about the lack of volatility that's been in the market. The same thing happened with Bitcoin. I mean, the upside to the Bitcoin was amazing as far as price. Now it's coming down, it's leveling off, it's evening out, and it's probably going to continue to do so.
All right, we hear you. Thanks very much for joining us, Scott. The Dow is now down 58 points.